So today I just want to do a quick video about a fun discovery that, and maybe everybody knows about this, but I feel like it's something that's not talked about a lot. But I just think it's so fascinating. So, and this is going to be boring for people that I guess don't know the Bible super well, but you know how in Revelation in 19 verse 7 through 9, how it talks about the wedding feast. And then in Matthew 25, 1 through 3, it talks about the 10 virgins. Okay, so today when I'm reading John in verse 14, this is Jesus comforting his disciples. And he says, "My Father's house has many rooms. If that were not so, would I have told you that? I am going there to prepare a place for you. And if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you with me, so that you may be also where I am." And so when I first read these scriptures, it was like, what is he talking about? Like, who's the bridegroom? What is this dinner? Like, he's going away to prepare a place for us? Like, what is this all about? So if you look up a traditional Galilean wedding, because all of Jesus's disciples were from Galilee, so they would have totally understood this wedding parable that he keeps giving them. Because to us, it's like, what is he talking about? So go look up, I'll give you the brief details of it, but look up a traditional Galilean wedding. And what happens is, so when the bride and groom, they decide they're going to get married, everybody in the town comes, even if they don't know them. It's just like a big thing back then was a wedding. So they would go meet in town in front of everybody, and they would take a glass of wine, and the groom gives it to the bride. That's his covenant. If she drinks it, then it's good to go, and that's kind of secured the whole wedding, right? So then they separate for some period of time. No one really knows the time. It's just a certain period of time, usually a year. And so during that period of time, the groom goes to his father's house. Keep in mind, this is still done today. So the groom goes to the father's house, and he builds on a room for his bride on his father's house. And he gets everything ready. He gets the feast prepared. So that's what he's doing during this roughly year period. So meanwhile, the bride gets her bridesmaids, and their responsibility is to make all the dresses, make the bride's dresses. And then they just have to wait. They just have to wait until he shows up one day. And also the people in the town, that they knew that there was this wedding going to take place, but no one knew. No one knew the day or the hour of the wedding, but only the father of the groom. So not even the bride, not even the groom, did not know the day of the wedding. It was whenever the father decided, when the son would come to him and say, "Okay, Dad, look, I got this room built, I got the feast ready." Then the dad says, whenever he decides, he tells his son, "Okay, go get your bride." So sometime between midnight and 1 o'clock in the morning, the groom gathers his men. They take a trumpet and they blow it through the town as they're going to the bride's house. So if you were asleep, which most people would be at midnight, you hear the trumpet, you're to be ready. So you would hear the trumpet and you would jump up and you would go get in this kind of like a parade form to the bride's house. So the bride had to even sleep in her wedding dress. She had to be ready at all times because she didn't know when her bridegroom was coming. So, and then during this time, they usually start out with 10 bridesmaids, but usually by the time the wedding comes, 5 of them weren't ready and they just weren't prepared, so they'd miss the wedding. So then when you think of the verse in Matthew, when it talks about the 10 virgins not having their lamps full, that's what he's referring to, because they had to have lamps ready, because this was going to take place sometime between midnight and 1 o'clock, or midnight and dawn. So they would go through blowing the trumpet, the bride would hear it, and they had this weird board type thing that the bride would sit on. They would come pick up the bride and they would have her sit on, and they would lift her up in the air, and they called it flying her away to the father's house. So then they would go back to the father's house. And so you had to be in that group, this parade, back to the father's house. And that's where the feast would take place. So you had to be there before they shut the doors, because it was a 7-day feast. So if you didn't get there in time, the door would be shut and you wouldn't be allowed into the wedding feast. And anyways, I just think that that's so amazing to think of, like, that's exactly what Jesus was explaining to them. They would have totally understood when he said, "I'm going away to prepare a place for you in my Father's house, but I'll be back to get you because you're my bride," speaking to his church. anyways, I just think that's such an amazing story. So look into it, look into a traditional Galilean wedding, and you'll see all the parables of it. It's great.